All right, good evening, my friends. Welcome in to Main Event Fantasy. My name is Nick, aka Perfect 216, and we're gonna have ourselves some fun tonight. It is Wednesday night, middle of the week. Hopefully, everybody's week has been fantastic. Mine is just getting started because my parents are in town for the week. The rest of this week, we're gonna have ourselves a little vacation, a little staycation. They're in town to see their grandkids, and we're gonna have a good time. So, yeah, not having to go to work in the morning feels pretty good. Um, but I do got to get the kids for school in the morning. So, but hey, that's then. This is now. We're gonna leave that at the door. We're gonna focus in on winning best ball drafts tonight. We're going into best ball mania, and I will jump right in and explain what it is. But real quick, if you wouldn't mind, throw a like and a subscribe down there. I do go live every night between 10 p.m. and midnight between now and the start of the regular season. And then I also will, once the regular season starts, be going live to update you guys on how the teams are doing, as well as doing some daily sports betting, looking at player props and things like that, and maybe my favorite parlays. So we'll be looking at some of that. But in the meantime, let's get into this tonight. So, what we're doing here, if you're not familiar with this is Underdog Fantasy, and the tournament. Let me try that again. What we're getting into is called Best Ball Mania. It is the largest fantasy football tournament on the planet. It is 672,672 entrants. $2 million goes to first place. $25 entry. You can enter up to 150 times. I've got 57 more shots at this thing. How it works with best ball is you draft your teams. There's no time commitment during the regular season. You just draft it, and the best players will play. No waiver wires, no trades, none of that. That's why I'm able to draft I guess I'm almost over 450 teams at this point, and I will probably get over 700 teams drafted by the time the regular season happens. So let's jump into Best Ball Mania and our first draft for the evening. We'll try and sneak 2 drafts in tonight. We'll see how I feel, see if I'm fading. I'm a little later than I normally am getting on, so we'll see if we can hold out, hold out for good things. There's not a lot of news that came out today. Nothing too exciting other than this whole thing about smelling salts in the NFL, where I guess players are not allowed to use ammonia packets or smelling salts that are provided by the teams is the loophole. If they provide it themselves, I guess they can use it, but if the team provides it, they can't. I'm not sure how that works, but whoever tried to pass this one, lawyers aren't very smart. So, but it is what it is. So if you're not familiar with best ball, just to kind of reiterate a little bit, again, this is you're able to draft a lot of teams, and that's if you like drafting fantasy football, Underdog Fantasy is my favorite place to do it. I've been doing this for 4 years on Underdog for best ball drafts. I've drafted on plenty of other platforms. This is the best place to draft your fantasy football teams for your best ball teams. A lot of money to be won. I've been very successful for the last 4 years, and I'd like to keep it rolling. And if I can help you guys while we're doing it, then hey, wow, we're doing something right, because I'm drafting whether I stream or not. So I'm on here for you, not for me. And we're trying to build this community up and make it something special. Speaking of which, I actually sent an email to Underdog this morning, following up on some conversation around becoming a partner with them is my hope. But I also got a different email that said they're going to send me a gift of some kind for last year for my maxing of Best Ball Mania teams. Don't know what the gift is, probably like a t-shirt, but I promise if I get a t-shirt or not, I'll take it and I will rock it proudly. And we will show it off when it shows up. All right, we're in here at the 103. And I don't know why people call it the 103. Why couldn't it be the 13? I don't know. But 103 is fine. We know we're going to get some great draft options when we picking at the 103. You're talking about Jamar, Bijan, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Saquon, Jameer. They're all available here. And Jamar will probably be gone, but we'll have some options coming to us that we feel good about. So Chase goes at 1 like normal. CeeDee Lamb goes at 2. So we are going to take my man Bijan Robinson at 3. I am very excited this year for him. I was not overly drafting him last year in his rookie year. He had a really nice season, but I want to catch him on the breakout, right? I want to catch him on the up. That's how we win money, grabbing guys when they're on the upswing. Let's look at Bijan's numbers from last year. So, all right. So he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 top 10 finishes out of 18 weeks in the regular season, which is phenomenal. And it all really started right after week 6, and he never really looked back. I think he is my favorite pick right now, early in drafts. And he only had a 76% snap share last year, which is kind of crazy to think about. But he did have 14 touchdowns, which helps. So he finished as the running back 3 in PPR scoring last year. And so when you talk about guys who haven't hit a ceiling yet, I think Bijan is the guy. You want to catch guys on the up before they get there, and you don't want to draft them once they're there because they're usually going to be coming back down. So get them before they rise. Get them while they're hot. All right, let's see if anything funny is going on. Pretty normal draft. Whoa, I lied. Justin Jefferson went all the way at 8. I've never seen him go to 8. I've seen him get 6 because I've gotten him at 6. I've never seen him at 8. Wow, that is absolutely nutty that he went at 8. Wonder what Nicholson here is going to be able to do to pair him up to keep a really unique team. I'm kind of jealous. That's the kind of start I want. I want a Jefferson at 8. That would be absolutely disgusting. I mean, he's got some options here on what he could do. There's a lot of people that normally don't go on the left side of the board. He goes Derrick Henry. Pretty good choice there. Now, it's unique, but I will say this. I had Justin Jefferson and Derrick Henry at pick 6. So while Justin Jefferson didn't slide as far, Henry did slide further. So he's basically going with the same start I had a few weeks ago. So Philly Mike, what's up? Thanks for joining. Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb at the 9, Superflex or Joe Burrow. In a Superflex league, I generally speaking grab the elite quarterbacks early. If they have rushing upside, even better. But in a Superflex, I definitely prefer grabbing I'm going to grab Chase Brown here. And our second pick. Yeah, I like to get Superflex, get my quarterbacks early because they have so much points. There's so much weight there. Now, out of the 2, if you really said, hey, you know what? I really don't want to get a quarterback. It's just not what you're feeling. And you really are insistent on going the wide receiver route. My personal opinion is I like Justin Jefferson better. I know you got to worry about his hamstring, but Jay Jetta is a special guy. I think CD's special too, but I'm definitely a big fan of what he can do. So yeah, for me, I think I'd be going quarterback first, and then Jay Jetta would be my choice out of the 2. Yeah. I've done some super flexes on here on Underdog because there are some best ball Underdog super flex tournaments. And a lot of times I'll play it 2 different ways. Sometimes I'll play it where if I'm getting a top 5 pick, I'll play it and I'll go back-to-back quarterbacks as my first 2 rounds. And then there's other ways where I'll play it and I'll punt the quarterbacks for the first few rounds, take all the guys that are dropping, maybe you get Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb 1 and 2, and you just keep punting it, right? That's always an option for you too. Philly Mike says he was offered Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown for Brock Purdy and Jamar Chase. So it's a super flex league, right? Honestly, so here's my thing. I think Jamar Chase is obviously, I think, the better pick over A.J. Brown in a vacuum. However, Jalen Hurts, I think, is a better upside than Brock Purdy from a quarterback standpoint because he's got the rushing upside more than Purdy does. The other thing is, if you're trying to win, I still say that stacking matters. So if you can get Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown on the same team, you're counting on them both to have a great year. And if one does and the other does, you're raising your ceiling on what that team can do. So you're kind of just saying you're going all in, right? But when I play dynasty leagues, or maybe not dynasty, redraft leagues and things like that, like single year leagues, I want to get first or last. Like, that's my strategy. I don't want to get third. I don't want to get fourth. I don't want to just be kind of there. I want a team that's going to crush. So in that scenario, man, I probably would consider the Hurts A.J. Brown, if I'm being honest, only because they correlate. But I know it's hard because Chase is just a disgustingly good, talented player. Can you name 6 quarterbacks who won 2+ Super Bowls before the 2000s? Dude, that's some serious trivia. Hold on 1 second. Where am I at? I got to flip this around before I lose my draft spot. Coming back at 46. He said before the year 2000. I mean, I might be able to name a few, but I doubt I'm going to be the guy that gets all 6. But I will throw some names out there. Steve Young, Joe Montana. And I'm totally guessing, by the way. Please don't be like, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I could be way off. Steve Young, Joe Montana, maybe Elway. Was Brady? No, Brady's reign was after the 2000s, I think. Man, before the 2000s. I feel old simply by the fact that I'm naming players I've watched, and it makes me feel old. Fantasy Dog, what's going on, brother? How are you this evening? Good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. He said, Fantasy Dog says, I'm old, very old, right up my alley. Hey, then you gotta have this answer. Oh, wait, hold on. We're on the clock. What am I doing? Give me a second. You know what? We're going to do something fun tonight. We're going to pile in on running back. We're going to go Bijan, Chase Brown, and Kenneth Walker. I normally don't do this, but we're going to do it. And we're going to see if we can dig out at wide receiver and get a different kind of team tonight. Kenneth Walker doesn't usually get to the 5th here, so this is pretty good value on him. I feel good about that. All right. Let's see. Philly says Jim Plunkett, Terry Bradshaw. I should have known Bradshaw. Troy Aikman, Roger Starbuck, Bart Starr. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. Where's the 6? Give me number 6, Philly. I like this trivia stuff you got going on here. Kind of keeping our football mind sharp. Elway. All right, I did say Elway, I think, when I was naming some. Jim Plunkett, man, that's a name. That's one of those where, like, you ask people that question, and they might be able to name 4 or 5, right? And then they're like, who's that 6th guy? And then people are going to go, who the hell's Jim Plunkett? Like that's the kind of name that just really just blows people's minds, right? Montana, Steve Young. Yep, I had both of them. I was counting on you, Fantasy Dog, to dig some of these names out. Look, I'm proud of myself because I got Elway, Montana, Young in the names. So that was pretty good. I'm surprised I should have known Aikman and Bradshaw. I probably wouldn't have guessed Bart or Plunkett for sure. Philly Mike says Boomer Esiason should have had two. Yeah, Boomer was fun to watch. Yeah, Joe Cool. It's hard because, Boomer was a great quarterback too. Jim Kelly should have had a few. Listen, Jim Kelly, I was a huge fan of the Bills when I was a kid. Now, I was always a Browns fan first, right? But those teams with Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, man, I love those teams. And there was a Super Bowl. I forgot which one it was. And I thought they were going to win. It was that Super Bowl with Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, and company. And I remember as a kid bawling my eyes out because they lost. And I was so sure that they were going to win. I don't even know why I wanted them to win so bad. I guess I just thought Jim Kelly was a good guy and Thurman Thomas was a good guy. And I just was rooting for him. I don't know that I had a really good reason. It just felt like I wanted him to win. I don't know. I know it sounds weird, I guess, when I say it like that. All right, 4 picks away. I used to get Diggs a lot more in drafts, but for some reason he's going a little earlier than I've been liking. This draft is a huge wide receiver avalanche because we've got a lot of running backs that are still available. And we're at 75, and we still got, Caleb Johnson goes. I think I'd like to go. I guess I can go Jayden Reed or Jeudy here and keep the fun going. I guess Judy's probably the better pick, right? Would you guys go Jerry? Tell me this. Would you guys go Jayden Reed or Jerry Jeudy? Jayden Reed or Jerry Jeudy? Give me your picks. Who would you take here? You guys make the call for me. Give me a name. 5 seconds. We're going Jeudy. All right. Fantasy said Jeudy. I like both players, but I feel like I probably need the Jeudy points because he's going to be the one for sure. And Jayden Reed may not be the one, right? There's so many wide weapons there. I know. Philly Mike says Jeudy too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's Judy's not the sexy pick, right? Like he's not the guy that you're like, man, I just can't wait to get Jerry Jeudy. And I'm a Browns fan. So saying that I'm not excited to get Jerry Jeudy should say something. I'm actually more excited to get Tillman in like round 14 than I am Jeudy in round 7. I don't know. Philly Mike says he's the one. Yeah, he is. And they're going to have to throw. They're playing from behind. I have a good amount of Jeudy. Don't get me wrong. I really, really do. There's just something about it. I've never really been on the Jeudy bandwagon, even though he had a good year last year and I did have some. Philly Mike says Jeudy can get you 8 receptions for 100. Yeah, he can. He's got it in him. He has what the type of profile that I like in a player. So I mean, I've been drafting him. Don't get me wrong. A lot of times I'm getting Jeudy as my 5th, 6th wide receiver in some drafts where if I'm, punting some of these other positions and just going wide receiver avalanche early on. And Jeudy does have some talent. I just, you question because the Browns like to run the ball, right? And so they want to play defense. They want to run the ball. They want to run the clock out. We play in the AFC North. We don't throw as much because it's cold. And there's just so many things. And who knows who our quarterback's going to be. A lot of question marks this year for Jeudy. But I will still draft him. That is for sure. There's no Nick Chubb. I know. Listen, it's sad for sure. Not having Chubb because I have a jersey. I was going to wear it. One of these days on stream, I'll wear it. I'm a huge Nick Chubb fan. The person Nick Chubb is a great guy. And the way he ran was amazing. The leader he was in the locker room was amazing. I'm really bummed we don't have him. But at the same time, if Quentin does end up making the team, Dylan Sampson, Ford is a fine number 3 or pass catcher out of the backfield. He can catch. I still think we could be fine for the future, but our issue is that we've got a really disgusting defense at a lot of positions, but we're just we don't like wide receivers apparently. Like that's just something we just don't enjoy. We're like, you know what, wide receivers, those guys, we don't need them. They suck. Why would we need those? The Browns want to run the ball in the AFC North. That's what we want to do. All right. I am going to go Cooper Kupp first, and I'm going to hope and pray that Kyler Murray makes it back, even though I feel like he will not. And he doesn't. He goes next pick. I mean, I knew that would happen, but I really wanted Kupp because I'm digging out of a little bit of a hole here. But you know what I will do? I'm gonna reach on Drake May. I don't have a lot of May. Stack him with Diggs. We're not picking for another 18 picks, so I don't even know that he'd come back. Get our first quarterback that way. And so we'll start Drake May stacked with Diggs. Running back, we have Bijan, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. I really like that running back room. Disgusting amount of points could be happening there. Wide receiver, Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Cooper Kupp. Kind of a unique team for me, only because I don't have a lot of teams like this. So we'll see how this one plays out. I want to see what my guy John Nichols is doing over here. So he got Jefferson in the 8 spot. He paired him up with Derrick Henry. I got this same combo at pick 6 recently. And then I went Garrett Wilson. He went Devontae Adams. And then in the 4th round for me, I got George Kittle at 43. And he goes Mike Evans. So I don't know. It almost feels like I got a more unique start than he did, even though he got Justin Jefferson at 8, which I don't know, just how I feel. Philly Mike says Nick Chubb was a top 5. Yeah, man. I mean, he was, and that injury was disgusting. He's had a lot of injuries in his career, but the man's a machine. He trains hard. I mean, it's still possible that he's an effective running back, right? We've seen crazier things happen. I don't know. I'm cheering for him because he's just a good guy. Big Ben or Eli Manning. I like. Listen, I'm not a Steelers fan because I'm a Browns fan, so I'm going to say Eli Manning. But I mean, I think Big Ben was very talented. Very talented. Welcome back, Fantasy. All right, let's see what we can do with this team. See if we can make something happen here. I was looking at the news today, just to see what's going on with the fantasy football world, and there's really not much. I was saying earlier before you guys jumped on that the only real news that's happened lately is this NFL banning the ammonia packets and the smelling salts. But then there's a catch they didn't figure out that basically they said initially players can't use it anymore in the locker room, on the field, and sidelines, nothing. And then they said, well, actually, it says the teams can't provide it. So they can bring their own smelling salts and get high on their own, whatever they need to do in the field. I say get high, but it's just crazy to me that like, well, you can't have this, but if you bring it on your own, then you can have it. I don't know. It just feels funny to me a little bit. I'm actually just going to take Justin Fields. He drops here, normally goes at 101, getting him into the 118, 17 pick drop, and he's a mobile quarterback. We'll have some New York Jets we can throw in here for fun later. New York Jets actually play New England in week 17, so there's a bring back there if that game goes off. And when you get a guy like Justin Fields, you don't have to have his pass catchers or as many because you're counting on his legs a whole lot more. Let's see what's going to happen here. I really am feeling good how this team is shaken out. I kind of want to wait on taking a guy like Trey Harris normally just to see how far he's going to fall. because of the Keenan Allen signing. Hopefully you guys have heard about that. Actually, I'm going to go Ramondre. But Keenan Allen did sign with the Chargers. And so how I'm playing it is I already did not like Ladd McConkey where he goes. Actually, let's see where he went here. He's going at 20 now. He was going earlier in the second. I didn't like Ladd McConkey where he was going already. I'll take him in the third round, but I still won't take him unless he gets closer to the end of the second, early third. And now I'm just going to wait and let the market push down the rest of the Chargers receivers and take him there. Just makes more sense that way. Ray Davis goes after us, and Herbert, Christian Kirk, CJ Stroud, Hollywood Brown. I think I got 50 after this one. I think I got 58 more Best Ball Mania shots this year that I can fire. And it's kind of crazy. It's August 6th, and I feel like the year is coming. It's just moving a lot quicker. Like this month is flying by. This last couple of weeks. But I got a lot more drafting to do. There's going to be more tournaments dropping. And so I'm going to try and stream my Best Ball Mania drafts because these are the big ones. And if we win, we want to do it on stream so we can share the world that we were together winning $2 million, right? And then if I do the smaller drafts, I'll try and do more of the smaller drafts, on my phone as I'm doing whatever I'm doing with the kids or at work or whatever when I get a chance. That way we can focus on the big ones. And I kind of want to get into one of those $500 big dogs too before the year ends. I like to wait on those until later, closer to the season start, because then I know all of the injuries and I have all the information that I need to draft those. All right, let's see what's coming around to us here. What do we need to do? A lot of Chargers stacking up here. You know what? I mean, I could get Kyle Williams, but I don't want to because I don't think he's going to play. So I'm going to get another Kyle. I'm going to get Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts, there was an chatter. I've been talking about this chatter. There was an interview done by Michael Penix basically saying that, hey, get used to this guy making plays because he's going to make more this year than he has before, is, basically what I'm translating. And I've been waiting for this man to break out. I've had enough Kyle Pitts in years past where I thought he'd break out and he didn't. And I rode that boat hard right into the wall. So Fantasy Dog says I've got 14 BBMs, might do a couple more. So you've done 14, you got 14 left. Is that what? I'm taking it as you've done 14. I'm not going to go Tillman here. Normally I would, but I've already got Judy and no need to double stack on Cleveland. That's not exactly an offense I want to be all in on. But I do like Palmer. You know what, though? I'm actually going to go DeMario Douglas. I like Douglas. So he's looking good in camp. And he would be a double stack now for Drake May. And he looks like DeMario Douglas is going to play a lot of slot receiver. And slot receivers are guys that can really surprise you. So I'm going to take a shot on him. Fantasy Dog says done. Okay, so you've done 14. I got you. Yeah, I was saying earlier before you guys got on that I got an email. I think I told you guys the other day. I emailed Underdog trying to get into a partnership with them and trying to negotiate that. But I got another email separately where they're like, hey, we want to reward you for maxing out Best Ball Mania last year. So fill out this form and send us this information. So I filled it out, and I'm guessing it's like a T-shirt. I don't know if there's more than that, but I did have to list my T-shirt size. So whatever they send me, I'm assuming it's a T-shirt. I will rock that proudly on stream whenever it gets shipped to my house. So Fantasy Dog says it's all good, close to 500 drafts. Totally thankful to be able to do this. I play it like Texas Hold'em. Yeah, man. It's a good time. I tell people all the time with these things, like, somebody will ask me, why do you draft so many teams? Why do you do that? I do it because I love it, man. This is fun. It's a little bit of gambling, right? So there's some money to be won there. So that makes it fun. But just the idea of being competitive, winning. I love football, love sports. Analytics wise, if you like numbers and strategy and stuff, there's a lot of that in best ball drafting. And that's what kind of makes it a lot of fun for me. Let me close this window. My Discord was going off like crazy. And I don't even really use Discord, but for some reason I'm getting a bunch of notifications popping up on my screen. I want to look at Demario Douglas from last year now that we're talking about him. Let me see if I can find him and see what he did. Let's see even where did he go? Why can't I find him? There we go. All right, last year Demario Douglas he only had one top 10 finish, but he only had a 63% snap share. So if that goes up, he did stumble into the end zone 3 times. So if that goes up, he could be a much better pick, especially where he's going in drafts. Oh, I'm on the clock. Let me turn this thing around. This is fun. No brainer. We'll do Braylon Allen here. He'll be our last running back. Kind of pairs up with Fields and that. This team here is really betting on the New England New York Jets game to go nuclear. And if it does, and that's what we needed to win, then we're doing something right. I might go stupid here if he's there. Look, Hunter Henry is on the board, guys, and I could do like a mega stack with New England. I don't do this very often. It's just not normally how I like to play it, but it kind of feels fun to do this. I'm not going to lie. We're going to probably get 3 tight end anyway, but we'll see. I really don't get to mega stacks a lot. So if it's meant to be, then he'll be there for us, dropping 10 picks, sitting in our laps. If he gets taken here, then it's not meant to be, and we won't do it. All right, it's meant to be. We're doing it. I think it's a disgusting decision, but I'm going to do it anyway. Because sometimes you just got to be better lucky than good, right? That's kind of how life works. Fantasy Dog says he's been managing teams for over 60 years. 60 years? My man. You got a lot of wisdom you want to share with the group if you're doing all that. Coach, captain, quarterback, shortstop, point guard. Got it. Didn't you play golf the other day? What did you shoot? I did not play golf the other day. I haven't played in a little while. I actually was supposed to do a charity tournament coming up for a Chamber of Commerce in one of the cities where we do business in. And some of the guys that I would be bringing that are golfers in our company, like one guy hurt his shoulder because he slipped and fell, and another one's out of town. And so I don't even think we're going to do it this year. Tommy, what's up? Nice to see you. Welcome in, brother. Glad you're back. Appreciate it. Yeah, he said, Fantasy Dog says, wow, 4 New England players. Listen, I know the mega stacks are not a normal thing. I promise it is not something I promote and don't encourage, but it can still win. It has won before. It can still win. It's just not something that I would normally do, but it kind of seems fun to do this. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to get some crazy things to happen. And you never know in these things, right? And when you've drafted as many teams I've drafted already, like, you know this, you drafted 500 teams. Sometimes to make a different kind of team just feels good, because if you end up being right, then you're like, all right, as stupid as this was, worked out pretty good. So if this team wins this $2 million, we're going to be feeling nice. We're going to feel As John Gruden would say, we're going to be feeling nicey. Tommy says he's drafted 12 best ball teams since the last stream. My man, see, got you hooked. I'm telling you, once you start, it's like, I don't know. You ever eat Tic Tacs, like not regular Tic Tacs, like the mints, but they made some orange flavored ones. If you ever eat some orange flavored Tic Tacs, once you start eating those things, you're like, you eat them like Skittles. And I don't know why that correlates at all to best ball, but it seems to be for me right now. So yeah, man, I'm glad that you're enjoying them, and glad that you've been drafting since joining the stream. Hopefully you're having fun doing it. Fantasy Dog says I would pick 4 Dallas players in a row on the big board. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. All right, we're going to grab our last receiver here and be done with it. Let me just look at a couple quick pieces here. Let's have fun. Let's throw Andre Ichivas on our team. And then I have another player. Miscounted. I got one more pick. That's even better. So the question will be, you know what? We kind of need a pass catcher with Justin Fields. So let's see what Jets players are available. So here's the fun part, right? This is actually I'm glad we're here and talking about this, because we're in round 18. I want you to look in the screen and notice what I did. So I searched for Jets players that are taken and just what's available. There's only one wide receiver that gets drafted in every draft, and it's Garrett Wilson. And it's because everybody thinks the Jets are going to suck and they won't throw much or whatever. There's going to be a wide receiver too that'll be relevant on the Jets this year. They're going to catch some passes. You're getting them in round 18. Right? So the question is it Josh Reynolds, Arian Smith, Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson, Tyler Johnson? You guys tell me, who's going to be the number 2 pass catcher on the Jets? And now it could be a tight end if I'm being honest, but seriously, you have to know a number 2 on any offense, when you're getting him at pick 18, is going to fall into points on accident just because he's got to be on the field. So I'm starting to think I need to get more Jets players. Fantasy Dog says Reynolds. Interesting call. Anybody else want to challenge Reynolds? I actually have a few teams that have Lazard. I think I have one team that has Arian Smith. And I think I even sprinkled in a Malachi Corley share somewhere in there. Believe it or not. Tommy says $3 wagers, though, in his drafts, and then between my sales calls makes the day go by so fast. Hey, it really does. I do some, too, when I get a chance. That's for sure. You know what? Since you're talking about Reynolds, let's look him up. Why not, right? That's what we do. I got stats here. I've got to learn how to share my screen better on top of this one. The platform I use to stream drafts and stream on YouTube makes it a little bit more difficult to just share screens without swapping. Like I can't just overlay, so I got to figure that out. And I'm not using OBS, so I got to figure that out. But let's see if we can find some Jets players. How about that? I don't even know if I can find it this way. How many? No. Nope. Is he even in the game? This is ridiculous. I don't even think he's on my list. Like, he's so far down. I don't even see him on my list. Did I not even put him on my list? That'd be kind of disgusting if I'm missing him somehow. I see Malachi Corley. You know what? I don't have any Josh Reynolds yet with Justin Fields, so we'll just go Josh Reynolds. He didn't do much last year. He had 24 targets, 13 catches, 194, and a touchdown. But you did, maybe it looks like here 9 days ago, the news said that he's going to be the clear favorite for the number 2 role. So, you know what? Again, it's pick 18, folks. When it's pick 18, if he's a number 2 on an offense that's going to have to throw because they're going to suck and play from behind, he's going to stumble into some points. So he maybe have some usable weeks where a lot of other people are picking guys, that are wide receiver 3s and 4s and 5s on teams because they're good offenses. But if they don't see the field, it doesn't matter. So, all right, let's recap this team, and then we'll do another one. We got Drake May and Justin Fields at quarterback. We got Bijan, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson, Braylon Allen at running back. I love this running back room. It's disgusting. Wide receiver, we have Marvin Harrison, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Cooper Kupp, Demario Douglas, Andre Ichivas, and Josh Reynolds. Tight end, Kyle Pitts, Hunter Henry, Chig Okonkwo. We did a massive stack with New England with Hunter Henry, Douglas, Stephon Diggs, and we threw Ramondre in there for fun. And then Justin Fields, we actually have Braylon Allen, and then our man Josh Reynolds here. And the best part is, week 17, the Jets and New England play each other. So let's just assume that in week 17, in order for this team to win $2 million, this game goes nuclear. In week 17, we make it all the way to the best ball finals. We sneak this team in. And this is the highest scoring game in week 17. And we have all these players. And that's how we win $2 million with this team, right? Simple. We can do it. We can do it. It can happen. We just got to have faith. Tommy says, you're doing any more drafts? Yeah, man, I'm getting into one more right now. I'm going to do another draft. Fantasy Doc says he's going to jump in an MMG. No, I'm going to do one more for sure. Let me grab it here. Let's jump in now. Best Ball Mania. If you want to join in with us, I'll give you a quick 5-second countdown. If you want to jump into a Best Ball Mania with me, I got 56 more teams I can draft here. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are going in. There are 8 more spots right now in this draft if you want to draft with us. Tommy asks, what do you think of Walker this year? So I think Walker is super, super talented. He doesn't stay healthy, though. And he's got competition behind him or a 1B of sorts because I really like Charbonnet. I've had a ton of Charbonnet the last couple of years, and it's paid off well. There was a brief rumor in the offseason that they might try to trade Walker, and that would be interesting. But the guy has breakaway talent. He's fast enough. He's big enough. He's a 3-down back. I like him. I like him. Shamrock says, which draft? We're in Best Ball Mania. There's 4 more slots available if you want to get into a Best Ball Mania draft with us. Jump on in right now, and you can jump in with us still. There's still 4 more slots available. Tommy says healthy issue. Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things where health can scare you. And so it scares me enough to where I'm not going to go, you know what? I want all the pieces of Walker I can get. I want to be way over on him. I'm not treating him that way. I'm treating him as, let me go back in, as a guy that I would definitely want to have pieces of because he's a pretty talented guy. And I like talented guys on my team. So 3 more spots left in this draft if you guys want to join with us. And then you guys will let me know if you end up making it in. Tommy says, what about Joe Mixon? So I talked about this maybe last week with Joe. I was in on Nick Chubb when they first signed him, when he was going to rank round 17, 18. And it was fun that I like to be right more than I'm wrong, right? That's generally the idea. And so I was getting him late. So now his ADP is rising. So I'm kind of got him on the better side. And I wasn't getting a lot of Joe Mixon with where he was being drafted. Now he's falling, but I don't think he's falling far enough. I do take Joe Mixon when he gets to me around pick 100 or so, because I think he's a value there as you're like running back 3 or 4. But I won't draft him where he was going in like round 5, round 6. Won't do it. It's too high of a value for a guy who might miss a bunch of time. But I don't, and I would say like in regular redraft leagues, I'm not going to touch Joe Mixon. He won't even be on my team. I won't even look at him. I'll pass him up every time. I just won't take the chance. Best ball is a little different. You can take some chances on guys if the value's right. Did anybody get in here with us? If you're in here, let me know what pick you're at. I got the 101, and I'm grabbing my man Ja'Marr Chase. But if you are in here with us, let me know where you're picking from. Man. You know what I want to do is I want to get like behind me, I have this board back here, and I think in like a couple of streams way in the beginning, I started writing some messages and notes on it. I want to put on my wall back there like one of those Underdog Fantasy like bright neon lights behind me and start dimming the lights or something. That would be pretty sick. But I'm waiting to see if they'll respond to me about the partnership, because I think they'll send me that if I ask nicely. So we'll see. Pretty normal draft so far. Jahmyr Gibbs, Ja'Marr Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Robinson. Bijan Robinson. I can't talk. Saquon Barkley, Justin Jefferson, Gibbs at 6, McCaffrey at 7. This is pretty standard draft so far. It's all the badge drafters that are drafted in standard, and then these next 4 may throw some fire in there. Fancy Dog, I just got the 101 on my MMG. Okay, I like it. So we're drafting the same draft slot, 2 different drafts, but we're drafting the same spot. Let's see what our teams turn out to be. Maybe we'll like them both. Tommy says, what about Rice and redraft? It depends on your league type and where he goes. I will not take him unless he falls beyond where he should. Like, if I can get Rashee Rice to be a bench player because I don't need him, or he's like a flex option or something, I'm good. But if he needs to be my wide receiver 2 every week, I don't want him. I don't want guys with that kind of risk from an injury standpoint. I like risk, but I don't like risk with known injuries and suspensions and things like that. So we know he's going to miss games. We just don't know how many. Now, that may change when they actually announce officially how many games. Like, they just talked about the other day what Minnesota's receiver, oh my gosh, just drawing a blank, what he's getting from his suspension. And he's getting 3 days or 3 games, first 3 games of the season. Jordan Addison, he'll get the first 3 games of the season suspended. So that's not bad. I can draft a guy where he's getting drafted there, so I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Rice in redraft leagues. I just think that wide receiver in general in redraft leagues, unless you're doing more than a 12, like you're doing 14 team or something more than that, there's usually plenty of wide receiver options that you can play. I like to go and get my elite quarterback in redraft leagues. I like to get piled up on running backs because of injuries, and they also can score more points in those positions. So I prefer to pile up on the running backs and elite quarterbacks in my redraft leagues. But I don't go in with a strategy saying this is what I have to do. I never draft that way. I want to take the values that come to me. So, you know what? I'll take Chase Brown, and I'll go Maserati Marv. Trey McBride. Sorry. Cincinnati does play Arizona in week 17, so we've already got that correlation built in. That's not going to be unique at all because there's going to be a lot of teams that have these players and pick one. So nothing too crazy here. Fantasy Dog says, I've been known to draft Higgins, Jackson at 24-25, and if Burrow falls to 72, pretty sure I pulled it off about a month ago. Yeah. That's the only way I will draft Joe Burrow. You'll see it in this draft. Even if, no matter what happens, if I don't get Joe Burrow at 72 or 71, I'm not drafting him in the 5th round. I just don't. I'll build my team another way, because when you do these best ball drafts, you're going against tons of other teams. So I'm going to go, if this team were to advance and get into the playoffs or the finals, I'm going to go against a ton of other Jamar Chase teams and McBride teams, for example. And if all the other Chase teams have him at pick 72 and I have to get him at 49, I'm at a disadvantage because I had to take him earlier, which means I have less value on a player before him. So he either comes to me at 71, 72, or I don't take him. That's just how it works. And I do have him sometimes. So Tommy says he had Rice and Godwin in my league last year, finished 11th place. Yeah. Oh my gosh, brutal. I get it. Injuries can be a killer, and it can almost, in redraft leagues, it can almost suck the fun out of it to some extent. Dynasty, it's different because you can trade and, maneuver some things to still be in it in a dynasty league because you're going to continue to play every year. But a redraft's kind of like one of those where if like there's some season-ending things that happen to key players in your team, it almost kills the fun for the rest of the year in that team. And I've been in leagues where those guys that have that, where their team's dead, then they stop caring, or they make bad trades, or they don't set their lineups, and then they ruin the whole league for everybody. And I really hate that. It drives me absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. If you guys wouldn't mind, throw a like on the stream, would really be appreciated. Sharing a little bit of love, trying to grow the channel. Subscribe if you are newer here or haven't already. I will try and go live every night between 10 and midnight and do minimum of 2 drafts if I can, sometimes 3 between now and the regular season. And please feel free to share this channel with any friends or any other places that you like. And maybe we can build up a good network together and see what we can do with this whole YouTube fantasy football thing. I do think that best ball is a growing community, and it's kind of fun to be a part of it, right? Fantasy Dog says, I just took Bowers and Jackson, massively unique, right? Brock Bowers and Lamar Jackson on the same team. So I don't know if I'd say massively unique, only because Bowers goes on the right side of the board usually. Lamar lately has been going more on the left side. So but Bowers can fall, Lamar can fall. It's a little unique, but I will say this. I don't know when you started drafting earlier, but if you recall earlier in the offseason, like April and May, Lamar was actually going much later in the 3rd and sometimes into the 4th. So now that he's getting pulled up earlier, but there will be teams for sure that have Bowers, Jackson on their squad. But I still like both players, so I think to draft them both is still fantastic, And I like elite quarterback as a general strategy. Rice goes at 47. I'm going to go Metcalf here. And y'all know, if you don't know, you're going to know that I am all in on Devonta Smith. So fun fact, Devonta Smith is statistically one of the greatest college football wide receivers to ever play. And he's a number 2 on an offense that doesn't throw much. And if they throw just a little bit more, or A.J. Brown gets a little dinged up, there's just so many reasons how Devonta Smith pays out. He's such a talented receiver. And he still puts up points every year in an offense that wants to run the ball. They're run-first offense, and he still is fantasy relevant. So the guy's just got the juice, right? So I'm going to get me plenty of Devonta Smith here in the 5th round. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You said Chase Bowers. Yes, Chase Bowers is pretty hard because you need Bowers to fall later in the 2nd. Where did you get Bowers? Where did you get him at? I'm assuming you got him in the 20s then, right? I mean, his average ADP is I think it's 19. So you'd have to have gotten him in the 20s, I think. I have a team with I have a Bowers team with Jamar Chase, and then I got Bowers all the way at 24. And And I don't know what I went after him, but I do have that. Shamrock says, you think they ease up on Saquon's workload? 24, you have the 101. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you know what, dude? I had the same thing once. So you went, yeah, that's disgusting. So I have a team like that too. I don't think I got Chase Brown on my team though. But yeah, it felt really, really good to have Chase, Jamar Chase, and I just realized what you said. Jamar Chase, not Chase Brown. I'm sorry. I'm staring at my own guy. My bad. Yeah, Jamar Chase and Bowers is super rare for him to fall that far. So yes, very rare. I have one team where that happened. You should feel ecstatic to start that way. So going back to Saquon's workload, Shamrock, I think that Saquon is going to have the majority of carries and be a focal point still. But there were a lot of interviews in training camp with guys like A.J. Brown, et cetera, where they were saying how they've proven they can win a Super Bowl by being a run-heavy offense, and they believe that they can do the same thing by throwing the ball. And so they focused on that a lot this year in the offseason and training camp to make sure that running's not the only part of the game that they can do, or that they're good at. So I expect them to throw a little more this year than they did last year. But Saquon's the kind of guy where even if they do that, he can break out so many runs and just, he could get 5 less carries a game or 6 less carries a game and still have as many yards and, touchdowns because he's that good of a player, right? So I just think the Eagles' offense is going to be disgusting again this year. So. And I like all those players. Now, I will say I have a friend who believes in the Madden curse, and so he won't touch Saquon Barkley at all because he thinks that having Saquon Barkley on your team is all bad. He's a curse. He's going to get hurt. He's going to bust a leg, or he'll run for 900 yards, won't even break 1,000. I said, listen, every curse is made to be broken, and I bet on talent in these things, and it's paid off pretty well for me. So. I'm still going to be taking Saquon Barkley. All right, so 2 picks away. My man Cool Joe is still on the board. We may be able to pair him up with Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. That would be fabulous. And that would make this team absolutely beautiful. Come on, Matt Porter. Let it ride, brother. Don't do it. Yes, sir. All right, takes Diggs. So we are going to get Joe Burrow at 72. That proves my point about what I said earlier. You got to let the board come to you. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my man Jordan Addison, super talented receiver, year 3. He will get a 3-game suspension, but I love talent. Talent wins out. So we were able to start with a Joe Burrow quarterback, with Chase Brown running back, Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison as our wide receivers, and Trey McBride at tight end. Love this start. This is how I want my Jamar Chase teams to go. I want them correlated with an Arizona player for week 17, and I want Joe Burrow at 72. So with all the other people that pulled Joe Burrow too early, I have an advantage because now I have Devonta Smith on my team, and they don't. So if this was tennis, some guy in the announcer chair would be yelling, advantage me, right? Shamrock says that Eagles O-line, their O-line is disgusting. I mean, it's good. I think they manhandle people. I don't know. Fantasy Dog says he went 65 in his draft. Yeah, for Joe Burrow. Yeah, and sometimes Joe Burrow just goes in the 5th round or even in the 6th with random guys who just don't know what they're doing. They're like, oh, it's Joe Burrow, I'll take him. They don't correlate him at all, and it's just not the right way to draft, man. I don't know what to say. We want to win $2 million. We're going to draft the right way, and this has the makings of a $2 million team. If I'm being honest here, guys, we have a really nice put together team, and I'm very happy with what we're doing. All right, Tony Pollard go a little bit of run on running backs here in the 7th round with 6 already taken in the 7th round as it is. I do have a general rule of thumb because from a wide receiver standpoint, there is a drop off in talent. So I minimally want 4 wide receivers in my first 7 picks. If I don't have 4 wide receivers in my first 7 picks, I feel horrible about my drafts every time because it's really hard to make up the talent. And when you have to start 3, if not 4 wide receivers, if you use it as a flex at a position that has some lack of consistency, it just doesn't feel good. I look at my teams when I'm done and I go, it doesn't feel great. So getting 4 of them feels good. And I really, really like this team. Let's hope we don't screw this one up. Tommy says, I must say I prefer best ball as my mock draft preparation versus going against computers on Sleeper. Yeah, honestly, Tommy, I mean, I feel way more prepared in these last 4 years since I've been doing best ball and drafting as many teams as I do. I go in with my friends and they're like, you know, I have them asking me, they're asking me for my cheat sheet, my rankings and stuff. And it's one of those things where I just feel so much more prepared. And then I'll watch my friends draft players and not know about suspensions or injuries or, you know, value. And I mean, I'll come out of these redraft leagues just with such a clear advantage that as long as I dodge the injury bug or whatever, I at least give myself a good chance in these leagues to win. You know, it's just crazy. Plus, it's more fun. You get in these mock drafts with a bunch of computer players or even with real players. Even when you do mock drafts with real players, once they get through like round 7, they don't care. They're falling asleep. It's auto drafting. You know, you're not getting real people that really care with real drafts. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Oh, leave me Jaylen Warren, please. Y'all know Jaylen Warren is a my guy for me. If you don't, I'm going to say it again. Jaylen Warren is a my guy. He is a running back 1 on a running first team, and the dude's got some talent, and he can definitely catch the ball too. So we've got him here as our second running back. And then even more fun here is going to be Kyler or Michael Pittman. We're going to get Kyler Murray and be done at quarterback. And now we have the Cincy-Arizona matchup completely covered in so many ways that I feel fantastic that if that game goes off, and it very well could, we've definitely got some options on how we can, you know, win $2 million with how this game is correlated. So I love how this team is working. It's just falling my way, my friend. Shamrock says, where's the drop-off? Is rookie Higgins before or after the drop-off? Good question. Let me show you. Let me let's see here. Sorry, I'm clicking around. I see a couple tiers. So for me, let me kind of draw. I can't draw, but let me kind of carve one out. The first drop-off for me is where is he? Calvin Ridley and Travis Hunter area. Because Waddle normally goes before them. But after these guys, there's a drop-off. Jawan Jennings is my first, like, major drop-off. And then you kind of get into the Rome, Diggs, Jaden Reed, Ibuka, Jerry Jeudy, all these guys. I still love these guys, but it's a little different than the talent before them. And then I'd say I think the next drop-off really is at Jacoby Myers. And then you get into Josh Downs, Jaden Higgins, and company, and that's kind of like a tier in itself. That goes through Khalil Shakir and Michael Pittman, and that's kind of the next drop off. So it's really like 4 tiers of receivers, right? But I just think the drop off is significant after you pass Jacoby Myers. You're talking about like if you got to round 7 here, let's just look at this draft that I'm in right now. If you get to round 7, and let's take Jordan Addison out because he doesn't usually get this far. Let's say he went in 6, right? If you get to round 7 and Jacoby Myers and these guys are what's left, and you have 2 or 3 wide receivers, you're in trouble. You've got guys that are either unproven, older, injury risk, whatever. Like you're going to have to draft in numbers to make it up. Like it's a lot harder, and it can happen. I just don't like it. It just doesn't feel good. And that's just me. I could be wrong. It's just how I feel. Tommy says, where can we purchase your rankings and cheat sheet? So I don't have them published anywhere because I'm still developing my content. So I don't necessarily have anything that I can say, hey, go click here and you can buy them from me, at least not at the moment. If I get enough demand and this channel grows enough, I'll probably work on that. And I won't be the guy that's going to charge an arm and a leg for stuff either when this happens. And I'll probably do different ones, right? I'll make a cheat sheet that's and rankings for a redraft league, a best ball league, a dynasty league. Like I'll make it based on your league type specific when I make that. Thomas says Johnson over Warren all day. Not for me. I am 100% a Warren guy. You get him later in drafts. He's still on the depth chart as the running back 1. He's also a better pass catcher. I just think he's got more juice. Now, I think I have no problem getting Johnson. I don't hate the guy. I think he was a fair prospect. I don't think he was a great prospect. And I will draft some of him. But I am overweight Jaylen Warren this year, and I'm proud to be overweight on this man. All right, so we only have 4 receivers, so we're going to get one. If Trey Harris falls, feels nice to let him go all the way to 120 if he's still here. I like Charbonnet. There's definitely some running backs I like here. Yeah, so I hate the wide receivers in this range. I really do. But I will take a shot on Trey Harris. He's a rookie. I like rookies. They have unproven ceilings and high upsides. And I'm a Charbonnet guy, so I'm definitely going to pop him in here. He's done really well for me over the years. So right now we're at a 2-3-5-1 build. Man, we've got some great correlation. So I really like how this team is still rolling. But going back to what you were saying, Tommy, about Johnson, I don't know if I'll be right or wrong or whatever, but I'll have some Johnson. I don't love where he goes in drafts. There's other guys around him that I think I like more. And if I go back, let's see, where did he go in this draft? He went 74. So like where he's going, I like David Montgomery better. I like Pacheco better. I like Aaron Jones better. I think where I would take him, it would be here before Mixon, before Pollard is where I would take him. And I'd mix him more with Warren, but I'd rather get Warren around later, or even later than that. And then before him, I 100% like Swift a lot, Kamara a lot. Harvey and him are kind of interchangeable for me, right? Depending on how you look at it. So I'd rather have Swift, Kamara, Montgomery, Pacheco. Then I'd probably, you could give me either Harvey or Johnson. I'd probably take Harvey over Johnson, and then, Pollard, and then Mixon later. But I'd rather get the extra, pick here with these other guys and get Warren around later. So that's kind of how I'm choosing to play it this year. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. We'll find out. Got to take some shots. Kai, welcome in, brother. Full PPR, you're at the 107. You're stuck on CMC or Puka. Who's your pick? Full PPR, how many teams? Just kind of curious. I would tell you if it's a standard 12 team, I would take CMC in a heartbeat on a full PPR. Higher upside. I'm not a huge Puka guy to begin with. So if you're just doing CMC Puka, I would take CMC, and it wouldn't even be close for me. That's just me. Shermack said, you mentioned drop-offs. What if you have 2 good running backs, but a third with great value falls to you before round 7 and you're still at 3 wide receivers? Yeah, I always ADP trumps just about everything, but there is a breaking point. I will take 3 running backs if the values fall to me and they're that good of values. I won't do it at 4, no matter how good the value is, because then the team will be broken, and I'll have a bunch of great value running backs, and I'll have a losing team. You can still win if you get 3 running backs. You can dig out of it. It's possible. So it depends on the value. Like the later in drafts, like, oh, Caleb Johnson's at 74, but I got him at 78. No, right? That doesn't make any sense at all. But like right now, let's just say, let's look at Juice here. Let's say he went CMC, Ashton Jeanty, great start. I like it because Jeanty fell all the way to 18. I'd take him here too. The value's great. And then let's say his draft comes back around to him, and let's say Josh Jacobs here at 26 fell all the way here to 31, and he never falls on this side of the board. I'd scoop him up, and I'd end up with CMC, Jeanty, and Josh Jacobs, and I'd be thrilled about it. And in that case, that team, I would stop at 4 running backs. I wouldn't even draft 5, and I'd end up with 9 wide receivers on my team to try and make up the difference, right? That's how I would play that if it fell to me. And I've done that. I have teams like that. I actually have a team in Best Ball Mania somewhere where I have 10 wide receivers on a team, which I don't know. That's kind of crazy. You're nervous for Mr. Pistachio this year? I was burned pretty bad by him. I didn't spend my fab dollars on Hunt. Yeah, I get it. 1 year removed, though, a little healthier. Guy definitely had some juice. It's a good offense. It's worth taking shots at his value. Now, I was getting Pacheco a little bit later in drafts, but he's been moving up boards just a bit. All right. Let's see. What do we want to do here? I kind of want to do. I want to get more Kyle Pitts. So I think what I'll do is I'll get Kyle Pitts, and we'll be done at tight end. We're going to stop at 2. And then do we go wide receiver or running back is the question. I'm either going to go Javonte, Biggs, or Palmer. I'm going to go Palmer because Jordan Addison will miss a few weeks. Trey Harris, we have now a 4th receiver in the mix. Might not be great to start. I need someone who's going to get some touches and get some points in the wide receiver room. So I'm going to choose to go that route for now first. So. Right. Swing this thing back around. Fantasy Football Garage. What's up, fellas? Welcome in, brother. Thanks for joining. Glad to have you in here for another night. Kai, was a 10 team you were saying? Yeah, I still, in a 10 team, if you got CMC and Puka and those are your choices, I'm still taking CMC for sure. And there will be receivers that come around. Like you may stumble into like a CMC Malik Neighbors build, and that would be disgusting for me. Like that would be a great start, and especially in a PPR league, on a Giants bad team that's gonna have to throw to catch up. And that guy commands targets. In his interviews, they asked him like, "Hey, how do you feel if you don't get the ball?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm getting the ball." Like this guy demands to be an alpha wide receiver. So, and look what he did in his rookie year. So. Kai, I would take CMC for the upside. He's definitely a pass catcher. It's a PPR league. And then try and get you Neighbors or somebody like that on the way back around. That would be my play. And you'd feel great about it. And there's plenty of wide receivers that come around there too. So, but if you were that big on Puka, and you really loved him, he's like a your guy thing. You could go Puka, and then maybe coming back around, you get like a Achane, right? Pass catching guy and could be a good offense. Tommy says, what's what you on Kyle Pitts? Listen, I don't have a lot of them this year. I know it looks like I do because I took him twice now tonight. But I got sold, and normally I don't get too into the coach speak. I was a Kyle Pitts guy years ago when he was first coming into the league, and he's definitely burnt me. But he's going around 12 and 13. And when I saw Michael Penix last year, he did well with him in his limited starts and wanted to throw to him. I think they want to throw a little bit more. And in training camp and preseason interviews, he was saying that he wants to feed Kyle Pitts. And he said, quote, "You better get used to this guy making plays," because he was making these highlight reel plays or whatever. He's like, it's going to be happening all season. So kind of said it with like not nonchalantly either, like with some bass in his voice. So you know what? He's talented, right? Like we know what you get with Dallas Goedert. You don't know what you might get with Kyle Pitts because I don't know if we've seen his actual breakout season yet, right? So I think it's worth the upside. Fancy Dog says, "Yo, Candyman." Shamrock says, "You mentioned going high receiver if you start robust running back, like 8 wide receivers to make it up. Couldn't a third tight end with better value in those late rounds be more value? So say you stop at 7 wide receivers, for example." If I it depends on who they are and where the values came and how I feel about my rooms. I will probably still have, like if I go robust RB, I will stop at 4 running backs. And then I will end up with 3 tight ends and 8 wide receivers minimum anyway. Just because I've dumped so much into running back early that I've got to have shots at wide receiver because you got to start 3, if not 4. So I just don't see any other way digging out of that. All right. It's coming back around to us. Let's see what we have available here. Najee is normally 143 right now. We're coming up on 168. I was drafting so much Najee earlier, and they're saying he made limited progress 4 days ago. Spotted in the field on shorts and a t-shirt. Listen, something about Najee Harris being Mr. Reliable on an offense that wants to run the football, getting him here in round 15 doesn't feel like a bad click. It just doesn't. And if, I mean, that guy could be a league winner. He's could be that good. Let's see here. I do feel like I need some more shots at. I'm going to take Jalen Wright, though. Jalen Wright on an offense, he's electric speed, put on a little bit of weight this year. Miami offense, could be strong. They lost one of their running backs, so he's got limited competition. He'll have more touches this year. If anybody gets hurt, he could crush. So I like getting him. Really like this team. This team feels like it's got a lot of upside and it's got some good correlations. Thomas says, "You might have just convinced me to draft him in my redraft leagues." Are you talking about Kyle Pitts? Yeah, in a redraft league, I'm less likely to take him. But if you were to punt the tight end position and you're just looking for a couple of tight ends that you can kind of flex in and flex out and take a shot at, nothing wrong with that. I would probably be a guy who would throw Kyle Pitts on my team, if I'm being honest. But I like athletic tight ends that have upside. So like in round 18 this year in best ball leagues, I'm getting a lot of Chig, for example, year 2. They got nobody else to throw to in Tennessee other than Ridley and old man Tyler Lockett, who I get a bunch of. Give me the athletic guy who might be the number 2, right? Like, what if Chig is this year's Trey McBride? Could happen, right? Fantasy Dog says, "All I have at quarterback is Jackson, Darnold. Should I take Locke, Milroe, last pick?" Now, if you've got Lamar Jackson and Sam Darnold, you're good, brother. Because you're really counting on Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, to carry the load anyway, and then Sam Darnold fills in and just helps you get through to the playoffs. Anytime I take an elite quarterback, I always stop at 2, because I put so much draft capital in picking him early that I want to put more draft capital in the other positions. Now, that's unless some ridiculous value fell to you and just said, you know what, I have to do this. But yeah, I would not take another quarterback. Tommy says, what are you thinking about Tyreek Hill this year? I like Tyreek Hill. I've taken a lot of him. Actually, he's going now in round 2 pretty much consistently, like in the middle of round 2. When I was drafting him, he was in the end of round 3 earlier in like April and May, and I got a ton of him. And so I've slowed down a little bit on clicking him only because I got so much of him in round 3 that I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. But I still like to click him here. I will take him in round 2 after London, Thomas, AJ Brown. I will take him ahead of Ladd McConkey for sure. I like him better than T. Higgins. So usually Tyreek Hill is a guy that I like clicking. If he falls to like the Jamar Chase range, I could pair him up with him and Chase. Like I'll do it every time. Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, I've got some teams with that. I like those types of pairings. So, but Tyreek is a guy who's I want guys that have high ceilings. He's shown he can do it. Still got the juice. I want a guy who's got a chance to be a wide receiver 1 and outperform his ADP where he's getting drafted. So I'm going to choose to take shots on guys because I'm trying to win $2 million, not win $25. Fantasy jumped in another MMG. Yeah, I've only gotten to a couple of MMGs. I haven't done a lot of those yet. And I'll probably do some more on my phone tomorrow while I'm out and about. I'm actually on a mini vacation because my parents are in town to visit their grandbabies. They flew in from Ohio tonight. So I've got them in town the next 4 days. And we're going to hang out and do some stuff. Go to the casinos one night, etc. And but I still plan to be on, depending on how late things go. I'm gonna throw DeAndre Hopkins on this team. Seems like a fun click here. And then you know what? Don't like it. I'm going to throw Ichivas on here as a double Cincinnati with Joe Burrow. Still got Chase Brown too. But with Joe Burrow, we know the man likes to throw the football. And man, is he beautiful to watch do it. So, all right. So far, we've got a 2-5-8-2 build. Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray at quarterback, Chase Brown, Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet, Najee Harris, Jalen Wright at running back. Wide receiver, we have Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, Trey Harris, Joshua Palmer, DeAndre Hopkins, and Andre Ichivas. Tight end, we have Trey McBride, Kyle Pitts. So we have what I call a luxury pick here. We can grab a third tight end if we wanted. We can get a ninth wide receiver if we wanted. We can grab a 6th running back if we wanted. I really don't want another quarterback. Yeah, we have a lot of options here. And that's how you know you drafted a pretty good team, when you don't need somebody when you're coming around in round 17, 18. You're just looking for taking shots on guys. Fantasy Dog says he definitely has draft fatigue. Messed up half my drafts last couple of weeks. Yeah, it happens. It's funny because like if I get in these best ball drafts, these ones I tend to focus a lot more. But like I think I had a Pomeranian where I was like, I have no time to draft this team. I'm like doing 17 things at once, but I'm like, just jump in the Pomeranian. It's $3. We'll do it. And as I'm drafting, I started it really good. I felt good about the start, and then I got stuck or something happened, and I turned back on, and somehow I ended up with like 1 quarterback, 10 wide receivers, 3 running backs, and 4 tight ends or something crazy like that. I'm like, well, this draft is dead. Like I just took $3 and threw it into a trash can, right? It's ridiculous. Fantasy Dog says 20-second second clock is a game changer this year. Yeah, I kind of like it because when you're like us and you're drafting as many teams as I'm drafting, that extra 10 seconds on the clock to be off, I actually think it's nice. It allows me to get just that like one more draft in, right? With the energy level that I have. So kind of feels good. All right, let's see what kind of luxury pick do we want. So if you're watching this at all, what would you do here? Would you go running back? Would you get a 9th wide receiver, or would you get a 3rd tight end? Yeah, throw some recommendation in the chat. Based on what we have, what would you do? I really don't know. I really like this team. I mean, just not the hell with pick 18. We're just going to be a 17 pick team. Our team's so good, we don't even need pick 18. But what would you do? Running back, wide receiver, or tight end here? I am open to interpretation or feedback. Got to be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards grabbing a 9th wide receiver. I think it's going to be running back or wide receiver. Excuse me. Although there are some guys that I like here. That running back too. Decisions. I like Troy Franklin, Jordan Whittington. Oh, we are definitely scrolling down here. Kareem Hunt's here. All right, we're making decisions. All right, almost got him in. All right, I'm going to go Jordan Whittington. Could end up in a really good place on the Rams. Good profile. We'll go 9 wide receivers. See, it does happen. A man can go 9 wide receivers and feel good about himself. So love this draft. We correlated week 17 with Cincinnati and Arizona. We stacked both our quarterbacks with their pass catchers. We do have some other bringbacks as well for other games, even though we don't have the quarterback for it. So actually Atlanta and Rams, we unintentionally did that one too. So I really like this team. This feels like a team that could win us $2 million. So if we did that, then we did something special together, you know? You like Mostert still in the fastest players period? Yeah, I actually take some shots at Mostert in round 18. I do have teams where I've just thrown him on there, whether he's my RB5 or RB6 on a build. The guy still got juice, and everyone's not even considering him because Gentry's there, but he's a rookie, could start slow. What if he actually does suck, which is it's possible. What if they actually split the work? You just never know, So yeah, man, this is going to be doing it for me. I appreciate you guys being on here tonight. I'll be back on tomorrow night. Don't know exactly when, but normally between 10 and midnight, like always. Shoot me a like and a subscribe. I would appreciate it. Share the stream with some friends. Let's build this thing up together and have a good time doing it. Should be on again tomorrow night to do some more underdog drafts. We will hopefully draft another. Maybe if we won $2 million tonight, we'll draft another team that'll win $1 million tomorrow night. Let's just win the whole thing. We'll win all the places. We'll win 150th place on up. That's the plan. So thank you guys again. I love being here. Love interacting with you guys. You guys are the best. And much love. Hope you guys have an amazing Thursday. And hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow night. See you later.